What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bullshot Darts. So aiming the dart is not as simple as just looking at your target, lining it up with your dart hand and your dart, and throwing at it. There's a lot more that goes into it, so that's what we're going to talk about in this one, guys. But first, if you're new to Bullshot Darts, please make sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Drop this video a thumbs up, and also share it if you found it useful. So in school, I'm a teacher. We talk about something called full body listening. Full body listening basically boils down to, yes, you hear and listen with your ears, but if the rest of your body is not listening, if you're not sitting still, if you're goofing off and just not listening with your full body, you're not actually giving the speaker your full undivided attention and fully listening. So full body listening, we talk about make sure you are actively listening with your ears, like we said. You should be looking at the speaker. You shouldn't be moving around. You should be sitting still. You should have your hands to yourself so you are listening with your full body. So in this one, we're going to talk about full body aiming. To compare it to full body listening, like I said, you listen and hear with your ears, in darts, we aim with our eyes, our dart hand, dart, and our target. But in order to get the benefits of really aiming your dart, you want to make sure you are using your full body to aim. So every time you approach the line, guys, I want you to think of every aspect of your throw and tell yourself that you are aiming and there's intention between every part of your stance and throw. Now, I'm not going to get into too much detail here, but we are going to talk a little bit about this. So the first part of aiming is that before you even approach the line, you need to have that positive mindset, manifest yourself hitting your shot, visualize yourself hitting your shot. Does this work every single time? No, of course not. If it did, we would all be throwing 9-darters. But it will higher your chances of actually hitting your target because you've manifested it and you visualize yourself doing it, and that is going to put you in a positive mindset. So that's where the aiming starts, is before you even approach the line. Next is your foot position. Make sure you are standing in the same spot every single time. Make sure your foot is at the same angle every single time. Make sure your balance is the same every single time. Have intention with where you are standing. Make sure your stance is balanced and solid. You do not want to be wobbling around while you're throwing. We're all guilty of it sometimes, where we'll kick up our back leg or be a little wobbly. But to be consistent, you want to make sure you have that solid foundation to your stance. Well, Nick, can you show us your stance? It's not about what my stance is. My stance works for me. It might work for you, but at the end of the day, you need to stand at the dart line and figure out what works best for you. I personally like to stand where my hand is perfectly in line with that bullseye, triple 20, and triple 3. I like having that straight up and down on those targets. But as you guys know, like Stephen Bunting stands all the way over here. I know guys that stand all the way over here. So it's one of those things that work for you. What matters most is that it's comfortable, balanced, solid, and consistent, okay? So that's, well, the stance. Now moving up is your lean. You want to make sure you have intention with your lean. Now you don't have to lean. I personally think it's a lot more comfortable and helps aim, but you don't have to have a lean. But whatever you do with your upper body, make it intentional. If you just stand at the line and you're not thinking about it, and you're just kind of, not intentional about it, you're going to be wobbly. Your aiming is going to be off. So after you get that stance good, make sure you have that lean with intention, okay? I would say most dart players have leans, so I would highly recommend having a lean. But once again, it boils down to what's comfortable for you. You do not want to lean too far forward to where you're losing balance, but I do recommend having a lean. Moving up the body, so we got the manifestation, our feet position, our lean, our non-throwing hand. You want to make sure that's in the same spot every single time. I personally like having it planted to my body somewhere. If it's off the body, it could be moving around. You might be grabbing it at weird spots. So just having it planted, I usually kind of put it right on my hip there. There's a little notch. It just stays right there. Now we have our throwing arm. When we bring our arm up, we want to make sure our dart is in line with our dominant eye and our target. If you want to learn more about dominant eye, because I am a right-handed thrower, but I have a left eye dominance, I have a video on that. So if you struggle with eye dominance, make sure you go check that out. It's actually surprising. That's one of my most popular videos, but when I made it, I really didn't think much of it, but a lot of people tell me that that video has helped them the most. So make sure you guys go check out that one. But you want to make sure, once again, you have intention. Now, the most important part to me is that I like to aim with my elbow. This sounds weird, but I like to point at my target with my elbow or point in the direction. Now, I am not literally pointing at that triple 20 with my elbow, obviously. But when I bring my dart up, I like to feel like I am pointing at it. It's more of a mental thing. I feel like I'm pointing at my target with my elbow. I'm going to kind of show you guys what that looks like. Once again, this is more of a mental tip. So when I get to the line, if I just bring my arm up like this, and I don't have any intentional use of my arm up here other than throwing, I'm wobbly. I'm not feeling well. So what I do, so this is me with no intention. Now watch, I'm going to point with my elbow. I kind of point it forward a little bit. There's not much of a difference, but there is a difference. So this up. Now I'm going to point with my elbow here. It's a minor difference, but that makes such a big deal for me in my throw. Because once again, we're talking about having intention with every part of your darts throw. So that's something that works for me, guys. Give it a shot. See how you feel. Now, where your dart is in line with your eyes and target, once again, that's all up to you. I personally like, where am I? I'm not in frame. I do it right in front like this because my opposite eye hand dominance. I know some guys that throw from down here. You know, it's all about what's comfortable for you. Just make sure it's consistent and make sure it is intentional. And the last part we're going to talk about here, guys, is your head position. Once again, have intention with it, find what's comfortable with you, and make that head position intentional. I like to kind of have my head out a little bit and up. Now, once again, that's just me. Play with it, see what works best for you. And I feel like I've said intention a million times in this video, but that is the point I'm trying to drive home, is that you just need to have intention with the parts of your body to utilize full body aiming. So when I'm struggling at the dartboard, I feel myself being wobbly or just kind of lazy, I'll find myself thinking like, oh, I just feel so uncomfortable, I'm off balance, I can't figure it out. And then I start thinking, well, am I using my full body aiming? No, I'm just standing at the line, throwing my dart with zero intention behind it. And then I kind of have the realization, like, that's what I've been doing, that's why my darts have been bad. And then I start thinking, okay, manifest your shot. This is where you stand with that foot angle. You're aiming with your foot now. This is your lean. You're aiming with your lean. My arm is planted to my body. I'm going to bring my arm up to the same spot. I'm pointing with my elbow. And now I'm going to throw my dart. And actually, the last part of aiming here, guys, is the follow through. I've got a lot of videos about follow through. And my one piece of advice for any darts player is to have a full follow through. And I always say point at your target when you throw the dart. I get a lot of people that hate on this tip, but it's my #1 go-to. I go a lot more in depth in my video I uploaded last week called my #1 tip for dart players. So if you want to hear more about that tip, go back and check that one, guys. So that's it for this one, guys. Have intention with your throw, and I promise you it is going to help you be better. And another thing, too, is if you tell yourself it's going to help you be better, it's going to put you in that positive mindset, and you just will throw better for having that positive mindset. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're new, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, drop this video a thumbs up, and share the video if you found it useful. I'll see you all in the next one, and shoot well.